Yeah, will do. Will do.
Right,
this is now live on Facebook. Just went out for a beautiful walk. It's so beautiful here today.
It is here too. It rained yesterday, but it's
it was cold. It was cold.
Walk. It's so beautiful here today. It is here too. It rained yesterday, but it's right. I'm going to.
It was cold.
Walk. It's so beautiful here today. It is here too. It rained yesterday. Right. I'm going to. Sorry, everyone. So welcome. We are here today with Sonja from the beautiful New Zealand. She's going to be helping us with emotional healing and how it triggers dis-ease in your body and how we can help release a lot of that stuff to help us on our healing pattern. Because what I've discovered with healing the thyroid is we all focus on the physical so much and we're so worried about what's going on in the physical body, we forget about the emotional and the mental health. It's kind of always the last thing that we focus on in healing. You sort of leave that because you don't want to deal with it really. So, Sonja, what is it that you actually do? And
yeah. Well, there's a few limbs to my tree, but basically one of the things that I love the most and I'm really passionate about is I do work with people with helping them to become self-empowered by looking at their emotional and mental health. But underpinning that is a training and a process called Biocompass, which is from a German man, he's Dutch guy in the Netherlands who developed a process based on meta health, META. And what it basically is, it's a 40-year-old German science, because the Germans are amazing at this stuff, where they have just discovered that there is a direct connection between your psyche, which is your emotional health, your brain, what's happening in a brain layer, and the organs and tissues in the body. In layman's terms, pretty much your emotions, your stress, your traumas, your negative life events, your lifestyle, your beliefs are impacting your physical health. And there is no separation of the two. There is, so what I do is I help people find those root causes. So you go to a doctor, here's the symptom, treat the symptom. And I go, well, hang on a minute. Let's dig deep here. Let's go and do some emotional, physical archaeology and go, let's look at the timeline of these symptoms here, because they're not accidental. They're not there for no reason. They don't just pop up in the body and suddenly we have this thing that's separate from us happening. And we go, let's look at the deeper root cause as to why are you physically dis-eased? And I love the way you said that, Naomi, dis-eased, because that's what it means, is I'm out of ease. Yeah. And there's 6 root causes and I'm looking for, and they're all interconnected, and I know what they are. This is where it gets amazing. I'll finish in a second.
Keep going.
An organ, every single organ and tissue in the body, according to Meta Health and Biocompass, has a specific root cause. So someone with thyroid issues, whether it's the gland or the ducts, we know we're looking for a specific type of root cause. Someone with kidney issues, we know the theme. It's called a theme. So there's these other parts of the body we take into consideration. So we're looking at you holistically too. So we know if someone's presenting with a certain condition, I'm going to look at that organ, like the liver, but then I'm going to say, okay, but what else could be going on with the kidneys as well? Because there could be a connection. And it's so amazing because it is a fully integrated approach. It doesn't separate the parts of you out. It looks at you as what you are, which is an integrated whole.
Yeah, I love that, because I notice that, when people come into the group, they're focused on the thyroid. And when you're told you have a thyroid issue, that's where your focus is, but it's not actually really the cause of your issues. It usually stems from the liver and sort of works its way out, because your liver is what detoxes your hormones. And then if that's not firing, you're not making enough of the hormone to get to the thyroid, and then it affects your ovaries and obviously your kidneys, and you've got your adrenals on top of your kidneys. So all of it is just like, going everywhere. And, when we discover we have these issues, a lot of the time stress triggers the thyroid issue. So you could be manifesting it in your liver for such a long time, and then you have a stressful event and boom, it triggers it out. So people don't realize the importance of all of that we're just looking at, the thyroid, I'll take some selenium because that's good for the thyroid. But it's you've got to, sort of go backwards, work your way backwards from the thyroid, I believe, and stop just considering the physical, go to the mental, emotional, all of that. And totally love that you can look at all the organs. Because when you get nervous, you feel it in your gut. When you're tense, you feel it in your neck, or you get a headache. People don't relate that. They go, take a pill, but you're not fixing the reason that you've got that headache or the nervous tummy or anything like that.
Exactly. And it's interesting. I should show this in a second. But one of the things that's really fascinating about illness and disease is some symptoms are occurring during the stressful period. So, for instance, you eat some off chicken, and it's that's an organ, that's an organ influence. So it goes into your digestive system, and then you vomit. So we know that your body is in that process of being sick during the stressful phase. But other illnesses, the symptoms are not during the stressful phase, because during the stressful phase, your body is just doing all this adaptation to keep you functioning. So if you've had chronic stress for a long time, you won't see symptoms necessarily. And then you have this moment of relief where things start to get good again, and you're starting to calm down, or the body just can't take it anymore. And then you get symptoms. So an example of an illness like that would be a lot of musculoskeletal stuff is happening after the stress. So a common one is people who injure themselves musculoskeletal wise. They've usually been stressed and carrying stuff in their body for a while. And then they do the slightest little thing and they go ping. And it's like, I've had clients say to me, you never get, I did my back when everything was going really well in my life. I've just done my hip personally. I've just done my hip and my back myself because things are going really well in my life lately, but I've had a lot of, I'm not a stressed person, but it's that underlying stuff, that just, it all affects the body.
Yeah, you can't avoid it.
As soon as it happened, I didn't go, oh, this is bad. I just went, oh, great. This is a sign of a release moment. I'm now going to start healing.
Yep.
And there's so many illnesses like that, so many illnesses that there's a particular one of the breast cancers, it's in the healing phase. Like the cells in the breast are there as part of trying to build the tissue up in the breast to make it better for next time. It's fascinating stuff. Like it's really hard to explain and go into, but our body is always going through some sort of adaptation response. It's always trying to get us back into the homeostasis, and it won't be able to if we're chronically stressed. While we're on the theme of causes, thyroid, fascinating, 2 root causes for thyroid, right? One is and I can't remember which is ducts and which is glands, but one of the causes of thyroid stuff, because it's all about this is the organ, and you think about what's the purpose of this part of the body. Well, it's all about providing my body with some energy. So themes for the thyroid are about not getting something fast enough. So it could be something to do with frustration. It's not happening quick enough. Why isn't this not happening? See, a lot of women get thyroid issues after traumatic birth experiences. Hurry up. The labor's not happening quick enough. And there's that stress of it's not happening fast enough. Or in conjunction with that is a feeling of powerlessness.
Now I can relate to both of those. So when I ended up with my thyroid issue, it happened when I was pregnant with my son, who's now 10, but I found it hard to fall pregnant with him. So it wasn't happening quick enough.
When
you say that, I'm like, boom. And then, you go to the doctor, you find out you're pregnant, you get blood tests, and then they just said you've got a thyroid issue. And I was fine. I just took the medication. And then he was maybe around 2, nearly 2, when it was just, and I was fine. Like I was going to the gym, running. I dropped heaps of weight. I was just taking my pill and doing my thing. And it just went bang. Overnight, symptoms, boom, 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 boom. And then it just declined from there. But it was a rapid boom. I was like, what is this? I was fine. And then pow, just 10 symptoms overnight.
I can tell you what was happening. So we have the thyroid duct. So in the stress phase around not being able to get enough, the thyroid duct, which is responsible for feeding through the hormone into the body to function better, thins out. So we have a proliferation of the thyroid duct so it can allow more through. So that's the stress phase, right? So there's no symptoms, because essentially you're trying to get the thyroid to function better. Because remember, the body is not making mistakes. The body can hear the theme, and it could be a literal theme, I'm not getting it fast enough, or a metaphorical theme, figurative, I'm not getting it fast enough. The body doesn't know the difference, because the body doesn't have a brain. So you have the thinning out of the thyroid duct, which creates more function in the thyroid. So there's no symptoms. And then you have the relief moment. Things are starting to get good now. And then because we've had a cell proliferation, so we call it a cell minus, cell minus, cell minus, cell minus. Now we need to get it back into homeostasis. But so we have a cell plus, cell plus, cell plus, cell plus, cell plus. But we have to, it closes it up. So then you don't have as good a function in the duct, because if the theme is still running and you're still running the stress and you're not supporting you through everything else that you're doing, it's not going to go back to full function properly.
Yeah.
So it's really, that blew my mind when my friend explained it to me like that. And then I can't remember what there's another thing going on at the same time to do with the thyroxine being produced in the thyroid to make it function better. But the powerlessness conflict, you're going through trying to have a baby, and it's like, I'm now having to rely on I can't do this. I can't do this. Yep. I feel powerless.
Yeah, because when I had my daughter, like, I didn't even try to get pregnant. She was a surprise. Yeah. So you think, oh, well, this will be easy again. And then, you're going for a while and it's like, what's happening? And and then too, like, when you are feeling fine, you've been diagnosed with a thyroid condition and you feel fine. And this is what I tell people, doesn't mean you're going to stay that way. Like, so you don't do the things that you should be doing. You're not focusing on nutrition. You're not focusing on emotional healing. You're just going along because you feel fine, and you're just putting more and more strain and stress on your body. And that's also the whole, it's like a volcano. I always explain it like that. It's just bubbling under the surface, and then it's got nowhere else to go. And it just goes boom.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you've got to come back from here to get back to here. Like, instead of dealing with it here, you've got to come back so far.
Yeah.
So if you are feeling fine and you have a thyroid issue, you're not fine. That's where we get confused, because, I'm taking the medication and I'm fine. You're actually not fine, because you've been diagnosed with a thyroid issue.
Yeah.
So
and taking the medication as symptomatic treatment, it's not dealing with the root cause, right? So often what it does is it can in some instances, but now it's interesting about hypo and hypothyroidism. This is really interesting. Hyperthyroidism, always follows hypo. So anyone with Hashimoto's, anyone with any of that hypothyroid diagnosis, you would have had to have had hyper prior, but you may not have known.
Yep.
Because one is in the phase of adaptation and the one is in the phase of trying to heal the body and allow it to go back to function. So there's this thing where then we start, and interestingly enough, one of the very few medications we acknowledge in Meta Health that's really good and does help is thyroxine. It really does help to get that thyroid functioning to a certain degree. However, if you are still taking the medication years and years and years and years later, and you come off it and you've got problems, it's not healing. It's not healing. And people need to understand this. You are better to go through the uncomfortable couple of years of dealing with it straight away, getting onto the root cause and investing and finding out and spending the money and all that stuff. Because like you said, once it gets out there, it's a lot harder to come back from.
Yeah.
And we've been fed this sort of mentality of, you just take the medication, that's all you need to do.
And that's the thing, that's what we focus on. If my blood results are fine and I don't need to up my medication, I'm fine. But thyroxine nearly killed me. So, and I know a lot of people who just can't have that. No. They need the natural desiccated thyroid hormone. But luckily I found a holistic GP who worked on the liver, and she said thyroxine is a lot of people's poison. It was for me, because it wasn't leveling my bloods, and they just kept putting it up, and my heart nearly gave way because they kept on putting it up, and it wasn't what I needed. I needed to detox and cleanse, because my liver was like, I'm not working and I'm trying to detox all this medication that you're putting in. And the doctors just kept going, and luckily my mum and I are pretty intuitive. But I wasn't at the time, because I was so sick. And she's like, that's too much medication for you. I've looked it up and I think maybe you should reduce it. So I just brought it back down myself. And it took a lot of the heart issues away. And then I found this doctor, and she's like, wow, they should never have had you on that higher dose. And she got me on the natural desiccated thyroid. I just all of a sudden dropped weight. I was feeling better. And then I just gradually reduced that myself until I'm off it. And I was doing constant healing practices and, you know, all of those things. But thyroxine can actually kill people.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that, you know, it's really simple. You know, any medication is just a very short-term thing. Very short term. It is not designed to be taken ongoing, none of it. And even blood pressure stuff. My mother got diagnosed with a blood pressure issue, and she's such a healthy woman, and she didn't want to take it. And we really sat with us to take it for a really short amount of time and find an alternative. Well, she found out that sage leaves also bring your blood pressure down. So now she munches on sage leaves. You know, it's
nice.
Yeah, but it's that if your symptoms are getting worse or you're getting other symptoms, you know, we really aren't very connected to our bodies. I feel like we really aren't able to just sit with or we are, and we know, but we're too scared to admit these doctors are not helping me.
Yeah, because we have been conditioned to put our trust in them. Now, we've got 15 minutes with a doctor. What can they do in 15 minutes? Nothing really. And they don't live with us. They don't see the symptom. They don't feel what we're going through. So, and everybody is different. Like, you know, everybody heals with a different tool or different practice or whatever. You've had different emotional trauma in your life. And, you know, that's why you need people like you to get to the root cause to help you. Just no point going to the same doctor over and over and over. You can go to them for one part of your healing, and then you're going to have to go to other people, regardless of what you feel.
And I think where people are really scared in this regard is because they've got a medical degree of 7, 8, 9 years, it's really hard to believe that a layperson like myself can sit with you with 10 years training and no doctor in my name and tell you exactly why you're sick. It's a real hard framework for us to get our heads around. But what I'm noticing at the moment is people who are going holistic and the whole approach they're healing in rapid amounts of time, because we're getting to the root cause really quickly. A lot of energetics type of work, you know, clearing, you know, all that deep stuff within you and your trauma and your psyche. You shift the mindset and the psyche, and you tangle all of that at a deeper sort of energy level in the body, and your body gets a different message and goes, oh, I'm not running that old program of ... anymore. I am getting enough. Finally, we've stopped that story in the brain of I'm not getting something fast enough. And then everything starts to come back into homeostasis. But here's where it's really obvious to me why so many women have got thyroid issues. It's because so many women are in that constant, there's not enough time. I'm so busy. It's like, no wonder your thyroid's out of whack. And then, like you say, the liver, my gosh, what an amazing organ it is. And it takes such a hammering. And we don't love our liver enough, you know.
Particularly women.
We're on the wines more, and we're just...
Well, women use a lot more toxins than men. So we're using perfume, makeup, hair products. We generally are the cleaners in the house.
Yeah.
You know, we're using cleaning products. Men really, if they're lucky, use deodorant and a bit of cologne, if they're lucky sometimes. And they're not generally the ones that clean the house. Maybe at work they're getting some toxins into them. But on a whole everyday level, women are usually taking on more toxins. We spray our perfume directly on the thyroid. So, you know, that's why women have a lot more autoimmune disease than men. And like you said, we take on a lot more than men. Men can just forget shit too. Like,
they do,
you know, they have an argument with a mate and it's over, and then tomorrow they're best friends. Women hold on to that shit for a lot longer, and you know, or they go to bed and they're thinking, oh, I've got to do this, and the kids going here and the blah blah blah, and they're next to their husband who's pissed them off that day. Like, you know, women overthink, and it goes on and on and on. So men don't deal with their emotions, but we think we do, but because we talk to our girlfriends, but we don't, because we're overthinking everything. Whereas men can switch off their emotions and just not worry about it. Like, oh, well, I had a blue with my mate and I'll get over it and I'll talk to him tomorrow over a beer.
That's the one. And it's so, so true. And, you know, we just don't realize how much of the programming we keep alive when we keep retelling the story with our girlfriends, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about it and rehash it and bring the energy up, energy is emotions are energy in motion. So you hear me talking about energy, I'm actually referring to emotions as well. So when we bring up the story and we bring up the emotion, which is the energy, we are keeping all of that alive, and that feeds back into our mind. Our mind starts telling more of the story, which feeds more of the emotion back down into the body, and we've got this constant looping. So how I work is I help people break that mind body loop that's keeping an illness in place. So we literally get in there and we cut the circuit that's keeping this stuff going over and over and over.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about that in the group, you know, how we speak to ourselves, how we keep, you know, like vibration and all that. It's really important, and we just keep forgetting it. And changing your language, changing what you think, feel, do, like your action, or are you reacting or are you proactive in a situation? All of those things are really, really important. And like, I love how you talked about all the organs because and your emotions and all that, because it's so important, and we're not thinking about that. We're just thinking of those little tiny physical things that are nothing in your healing path. Like, I don't know anybody who has gone down just the solo medical path and healed a thyroid issue. It's never happened. It's never gonna happen.
No.
You can integrate medicine.
Yeah.
Your aim should always to become off, like you said, it's a short-term thing, but we're looking at it as like, if I can just take this pill, I'll be okay. You know, if I go to the doctor and he says my bloods are fine, and I hear people all the time say to me, I hope next time I go to the doctor and my bloods are fine, I'll be able to reduce my medication. And it's like, okay, like, I'm not going to argue, because they're in the different space. They have to learn for themselves. Like, they have to go through that process of going to the doctor, getting nowhere. Then they come see people like us.
Yeah, exactly. And just the thing about that as well is they're not, I've heard that the tests for the thyroid and that are not as conclusive as, so go and see an integrated doctor or a naturopath, because they can find out a lot more that's going on rather than this just simple sort of, you know.
Oh, and it all depends on so many things, the time of the month, what you've eaten, all different things, your stress levels, everything. Same as blood pressure. It's a hydration thing. So when your liver is impacted with toxins and you haven't cleansed it, your blood flows through your liver and comes out the other side dirty. So your liver, your heart is trying to pump dirty, thick blood.
Okay.
So that is what it's like a sludge. It's like trying to pump, and it doesn't have enough oxygen in it. So if you've got high blood pressure, and you generally do if you have a thyroid issue, it means you need to cleanse the liver, hydrate more, and it's not just with water, clean filtered water. It's with what food you eat, like gluten, dairy. They're very dehydrating foods. Foods like raw, fresh fruits and vegetables are very hydrating, and we don't eat enough of that on a regular basis. So, you know, that's why really good vegetable and fruit juices work, because it hydrates your liver and it helps get rid of that sludge. So yeah, there's a lot to it, but
there is, but it's worth it. It's so worth it to not be sick for the rest of your life, because that's what you're looking at, sick for the rest of your life. And who wants that?
Yeah, and healing's hard, but what's harder is being sick. In my mind, I'd rather be...
Choose your hard is what I say.
Same, that's my favourite, which is going to be hard, you know, but you're learning so much, like when you are doing it, like you're learning about your body, you're learning about health. I'm healthier now than when I was 21, because... You know, you think you're healthy when you're 21 because you're 21. Like,
your body's pretty adaptable at that stage. But it's not till you get older and you go, oh gosh, I can't do the things I used to be able to do.
Yeah, and now you listen to your body more, because you're like, okay, that doesn't make me feel good. This makes me feel good, and you start to remove the things that don't make you feel good. And that's the thing, is listening to your body as well, even when it's an emotional trigger. Like, you know, there's a trauma, and you're feeling it in different parts of your body, you got to start thinking, what's causing this, or what's...
We know, don't we?
We do. We're getting there.
That's why we have
you people like you coming on here, because people need to hear this.
Well, you know how you said a doctor spends 15 minutes with you? If someone does a Biocompass analysis with me, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, wow.
You know, because that's you need that amount of time.
It's not just one visit, you
and then you have the ongoing
with,
healing. Yeah.
You're working with
the initial Biocompass is 2.5 hours long, because we have to get a really clear picture. And before that, the person who's having the analysis has to do the timeline of their symptoms, so that when they come to the session, and you can do it, I do it online. So I work with people all over the world, in Australia and New Zealand. Then we're sitting there, and this is what happens just from people starting to write down the symptoms and the timeline. They start to, and then I start to ask very specific questions about what was going on in your life then, because I know what I'm looking for. People will start crying within minutes, and they start to, becomes so clear when I explain, oh, this is in the stress phase, this is in the healing phase. It was doing that at that time because that was going on. And it is a game changer, because all of a sudden there's an answer to the puzzle, and there's no accident anymore.
I actually felt better when I went to that holistic GP, who just said to me, you are sick. Like, she just basically gave, like, because you go into the doctor and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. Your bloods are fine. You met it. And so you're like freaking out. Like, I know there's something wrong with me, but you're not listening. When somebody says to you, you are unwell and this is why, it's like they've pulled the plug on that volcano, and it's like draining out, and then you can start to, keep on helping cleaning out that volcano and getting rid of all that.
So
that makes a difference. So what is your web page and Facebook page?
I'll be tagged in this post. So they can look up my name and find me on Facebook. I've got a business page on Facebook. I've got an Instagram page. I'm more prolific on Instagram, and my website is my name as well. And on there is the Biocompass. I'd like to offer anyone who wants to book in for a Biocompass analysis who's watched this, a $50 discount, just to say thank you for, committing to this journey. So if anyone decides, I really want to find out why, I will send you the code, and you can put it in. I can put it in the comments of this.
Yeah, put your website, everything in the comments.
Yeah, I can do that.
People can find you, and that $50 off, because that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's a life change. It's a game changer. I just
learn from random posts of yours. Like, we were meant to find each other for some reason, because I'm like, I'm learning so much from her. I'm always learning from people, but there are people who you really resonate with. And the second that I spoke to you, I was like, I'm learning straight away.
I send people with thyroid issues to your page, and these aren't even clients of mine. If I meet someone who's thyroid issue, I said, you need to go and follow this page here.
Thank you.
No worries. Hey, good to chat to you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're busy, so
appreciate it.
And we'll have you back again.
Yeah, I'd love that. Chat to you soon.
Perfect. See you, Dom.
We can talk about liver next time.
Yep, let's do that.
Okay.
That's the next one.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.